Kevin Howley is creator of Toss, Catch, Heal and Juggle Jitsu. He's passionate neurosomatic coach with a background as certified neuromuscular therapist. His work sits at a fascinating intersect between motion therapy, trauma recovery, and nervous system regulation. And yes, it does involve juggling. Born with physical challenges, Kevin discovered firsthand how mindful movement could rewire the brain and transform trauma. What started as a personal journey for him has evolved into an innovative healing practice that now helps others overcome anxiety, PTSD, grief, and even performance blocks through simple, rhythmic, embodied motion. So, whether you're neurodivergent mind or neurotypical and just seeking calm and clarity, a student navigating overwhelm, or an athlete chasing that elusive flow state, Kevin's approach meets you where you're at. His programs like Toss, Catch, Heal and Focus on Motion, Elevate Beyond offer safe, accessible entry points for reconnecting with your body and reclaiming your peace. If you've ever wondered how juggling could bring your nervous system into balance or how movement can unlock emotional breakthroughs, you're in for an eye-opening conversation. So get ready to explore healing in midair and maybe grab a tennis ball or two, because this episode with Kevin Howley is about to bring a whole new rhythm into the way we think about wellness, performance, and neurodivergent strength. All right, so let's jump in here. Okay, here
All
we
righty.
go. Welcome to Kind of
Thank you.
Joy podcast. It's good to have you here, Kevin. So
Thank you.
excited to get to know you more. This has been a journey for me in the healing and recovery zone. So anything about neuroplasticity or EMDR, I heard you talking about in your other
Oh, yeah.
podcast,
Oh,
the
yeah.
health.
We're going to get into some deep stuff here.
Yeah. So all that is very interesting to me, and I'm sure some of our viewers would like to hear. So, yeah, why don't we move right into it and hear what you have to offer?
So I am a trauma-informed neurosomatic coach with a unique mix of experience, including years of professional clown as a professional clown and juggler, and a background in, as a neuromuscular therapist. I've worked with people from all ages and backgrounds, from kids at festivals to athletes. And what I saw again and again is how playful movement shifts people fast. I've even earned the unofficial title of Chief Ball Dropper. Yes, I still drop the balls. Even though I've had 30 years of experience of juggling, I still drop the balls, and that's okay. Because what happens is you learn from it. Right. And so that's basically the groundwork got started with my the method that I teach. But before I dive into the science and techniques, I wanted to share something simple but powerful. Have you ever gotten frustrated and just wanted to toss something across the room?
Yeah.
Well, what if I told you this urge isn't bad, that it's actually built into our nervous system, and it can actually be used for good? That's the foundation of the movement system I teach, called Focused on Motion, which includes a method called Juggle Jitsu. And that's just an interesting tongue-in-cheek type of name that I got when I was kind of playing around with the idea that it's sort of like Mr. Miyagi. Daniel, right? And teaching him the basic movements of karate, only this is a different sort of martial arts of juggling. And it's teaching that way of just moving and using the body to train the brain, train the nervous system to function properly. Oh, okay. And it all started with a question. What if tossing something actually was like tossing something internal, a stuck thought, a looping fear, or a surge of emotion?
Makes sense.
And over time, I developed two connected but distinct approaches. There's the toss, catch, heal, which is a somatic based option for those stuck in trauma response, overwhelm, or emotional shutdown. It's slower, it's gentle, and it's designed to help the nervous system feel safe again. We want to feel safe again, right? We don't want to be stuck in that fight or flight or freeze mode, right? And so that's really where that goes. And then you have the focused on motion, including the Juggle Jitsu, like Mr. Miyagi teaching different movements, wax on, wax off. Only this is cascade and reverse cascade, and even a sort of like a crane kick technique to toss the ball up with your foot so that you can just start it fancy like that. But this isn't really about the tricks of juggling exactly. It's more about that playful movement, getting this and clarity and cognitive resilience. And it's not about fixing what's broken. It's about rewiring attention and building emotional flexibility through motion. Before I was helping others heal, before I became a neuromuscular massage therapist, juggling came into my life almost by accident. It started when I was homeschooled as a teen. I picked up juggling just really for fun. It was a homeschool class, actually, that I learned about it. And at first, I wasn't very good. You know, we were talking about that earlier. I was not very good at it. It took me a while to really learn the steps, and the instructor, he was actually a professional clown. He was a little more like, well, if you're not gonna, if you're gonna be negative, I'm not gonna, go through the steps with you. If you're just gonna be negative and not even try it, and so I take a little bit different approach. I'm a little more forgiving, and I work with you on it, and just work through each individual step until you get it. And it doesn't. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer. That's fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
And sometimes,
Can I ask a question?
yeah, absolutely.
I imagine it being a little frustrating at first when you're learning. I work with a young boy who's 8 years old, and I think, something like that would really appeal to him, but it would have to be like almost like his idea, but yet
Right.
like you would have to like you'd have to do it, show him what it is first. Like he's one that likes to see visually what it is. And then
Mhm.
he probably won't go near the balls right away, but he's so slow to warm up that I could just imagine him, later maybe gravitating towards it if you just leave the balls down on the ground and maybe
Right.
about something else. He'd be the type to pick it up, try, but yes, also frustration would hit. And he might even get like a little aggressive but nothing too crazy, but just, get upset,
Frustrated. You'd
frustrated,
probably get frustrated, right?
and that frustration you're saying, like the throwing and everything is actually a good thing because you're not suppressing, you're
Right.
expressing. Is that sort
Yeah.
of what you're
Yeah.
thinking?
Yeah. I mean, kids are always being told, settle down, just sit still, stand still. Don't, stop fidgeting around. And they're still going to do it,
Yeah.
whether you tell them to or not. Because what's happening is that their nervous system is telling them, I need to release this tension. I need to release this energy. It's built up energy.
Yeah.
And we're always telling people, oh man, these kids just are like Energizer bunnies, right? And so it's just one of those things. Our nervous systems are built like that. We need to release that steam, otherwise we explode. As I was learning, I was getting frustrated, of course, and
Part of the process, right? I mean,
it's definitely a process. And as I was learning it, I started to do 5-minute 10-minute, 15-minute intervals of intense, practice. And sometimes it only really takes 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, 5 minutes, into the evening time. And that it's those little incremental times that really matter, because it's that consistency. It's not so much how long you do it, it's that you do it consistently on a regular basis. And it's going to help release a lot of frustration and tension, because it's just going to happen. You're going to get frustrated at times with juggling, but it's in a way a good thing. And it's going, as long as you can be persistent and have that will to practice on a regular basis, it's fine. I mean, that's just what's going to happen. My coordination improved. My ability to shift focus faster and recover from distraction quicker. Of course, I still get distracted today. I think everyone does, but for the most part, I was pretty distracted in my days, and so I think that really improved my focus on things. Being able to practice on a regular basis, and it got to be fun. It got to be challenging, and it built up my muscles. It built up the muscle up here, the brain, and it even built up the heart muscle too, because it's a very it can, if you let it, it can be intense cardiovascular exercise. You don't have to go that hard, but it can get that hard if you really want it to. Like I said, consistency and variety. Variety is important too. I juggled the scarves, bean bags. You know about the little devil sticks going back and forth, and you can spin them and all that. That's something that happens in one of my reels on Instagram.
Okay.
So let's see, where was I?
It's all
I
pretty
was,
interesting. It's interesting to watch. If you guys,
yeah.
those of you who are watching, I'll definitely, and even if you're listening, I'll put the links in the message below so you can just like click on them quickly. But yeah, it's really fun to watch and just see, what they're doing, what he's talking about, and I'll also share screen in a little bit if you don't mind. But go ahead, yeah.
And
Mhm.
so just like you were talking about the Play-Doh.
Okay. Yeah.
You shared the thing about the Play-Doh in a post
Girls.
recently.
Yeah.
Healing looks like Play-Doh,
Yeah,
not
well,
podiums.
and they're going through a lot of grief right now,
Yeah,
oh, okay, you already know, yeah, I think you said
yeah.
this, but yeah, so
It's
that's
uh, it's the small, creative, rhythmic acts that open space in the nervous system. That's what juggling was for me, a playful way to find regulation.
okay.
Um, energy needs energy needs motion. In fact, uh, emotion is really energy in motion.
Hmm,
Ever we talked about the kids with the that just won't sit still.
mhm,
Um, they bounce, they shift, they wiggle. It's not disobedience, it's nervous system regulation. And it's not even stimming, it's they're dissipating that energy, just as we
okay,
talked about before.
yeah,
And I started wondering if adults also need to have that too, because we're trained out of that mentality that we're need to be moving around all the time, but really our bodies have not really changed in millennia, and so it's like how do we release that energy from our bodies? Where a lot of us are sitting in an office, for hours on end, and what are we doing? We're sitting at a desk in front of a computer, staring at a computer for hours on end, and typing out, and our backs get wrenched, and
Right.
and
Not
so
healthy.
we go ahead.
Not
You,
healthy.
right, it's not healthy. We're taught to suppress it,
Yeah.
and we're taught to, not we, but we need to regulate
Yeah.
that energy.
It's funny because, and I'm just gonna say this real
Go
quick and
ahead.
get back to it, but when I was a little kid and because I got labeled ADHD, but my parents didn't want to put me on the medicine, the stimulants, but they did try different like foods and, less
Mhm,
sugar and stuff, but none of it really worked. I still just had so much energy and impulse control problems and social
mhm,
issues with peers. I just didn't really kind of fit the mold, let's just say.
mhm.
Um, but like one of the things I remember doing was, as soon as we got out of school, at the beginning of school, at the end of school, and during like recess, just loving to be outside. And as soon as
Yeah,
I
me
was
too.
outside, I would just run. And kids
Yeah.
would make fun of me, like, what are you running from? Nissa, what are you doing? What are you running away? Like, because other kids knew that it wasn't the time to run. It was kind of like I was the only one doing it. And I remember thinking, why isn't everyone else running? Like, it just feels
Hmm.
right, like to run.
When I
But
was,
and
go
whenever it
ahead.
was allowed, like even if it, because so like we could be walking to like an assembly and we're outside, but they always
Hmm.
used to say like, oh, you can't run inside, but you can run outside. So I would literally run anytime we were outside, and I would get in
Uh-huh.
trouble. So that's what I'm trying to
Uh-huh.
say. And like, or
Yeah.
when it was time to go to the buses, I'd run to my bus, and
See, you were
people
you
look at
were
me like, what's
innately
wrong with
knowing that you needed to have that motion to
you?
get
Yeah.
it out of you.
But
And
people
that's,
thought I was anxious, and it still happens to me today because I
yeah.
have this energy, and people think it's nervous energy, or they. So if you don't know me, like, oh, are you okay? You look anxious. I'm actually not. I'm actually just in a good mood, and this is just who I am. I'm very energetic,
Mhm.
very high strung.
Yeah,
And
when I was in public school up until sixth grade, they tried to the teachers put this, basically a cardboard blinder around me in class because I was always looking
looking out
out
there,
into space. But what I was doing was I was actually thinking of stuff that
yeah,
I wanted to think about, and and I wasn't like, so when I meditate in my own way, I can't close my eyes and meditate. I have to have my eyes open for whatever reason.
like a little bit
And
open, like sort of like the mini.
not just open, and I'll stare out into space, and
Okay.
people will catch me doing that, and they think it's weird.
Yeah.
But you know what weird actually means? It's the etymology term is actually um, the ability to your own destiny, basically.
Weird. Weird. When you said,
Weird. So
yeah.
there's like an older English type of wording to it, but it's like the Germanic type of
Yeah.
thing where
Okay.
it's WYRD.
Oh.
So yeah, I like to study a little bit of etymology.
Oh, interesting. Huh.
So yeah, and so I like that. I like that definition for weird. So I'm weird. I accept
Mhm.
it.
Yeah, right.
When I would go home from school, I would actually I didn't do my homework right away. I threw my backpack on the floor, and I went out to play. And I had to use up that energy because it was, it was all pent up during school hours. And you couldn't really do, I mean, you did it, and you ran and ran and ran.
Yeah.
And so it's like that running does the trick too. I mean, that's rhythm. Everything is, in the universe is really moving. We just can't always see that movement, but it is moving. We're moving. I mean, even our cells are moving. The atoms, they're vibrating at a very fast speed. And so that's really kind of what creates matter, is that it's really light that's just vibrating at a very fast speed. And we're so everything is movement. Everything is in. And I was just watching a video about with Bruce Lipton, and
Okay, yes, I like him.
he was
Yeah.
talking about that.
Yep.
That there is a rhythm going up and down, up and down, and it's just constantly moving.
Those
And
are good
so,
videos with the animation.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so, we're just, it's just, that's reality. We're always moving. There's something that's always moving, even when we're sitting still. And so, let's see here. You were talking about reflecting on the riding in the van with the neurodivergent student, how being present with his rhythm was a form of advocacy. You also, we talked about the two girls with trauma and grief.
I had a question if now's a good time.
Yeah.
So are there any limitations to the somebody learning, like does it matter what kind of label they have? I asked this because I know some kids, we don't want to push them too much because there's some things that some people are just not capable of.
Right.
So how do you know if the person is capable of it or not? And I don't want to throw out any, particular diagnoses, but
Right.
you know what they are. You know what they are, but there's also a spectrum of it. Like even with cerebral palsy, or there's a spectrum. So like maybe trial and error, or do you
Right.
like how do you do that? How does that work between you and a
So,
client? What does that look
so
like?
I'm really just kind of getting started into this. I actually believe that I saw this one video of a gentleman that was autistic and even has some legal blindness.
Oh.
And he had a coach that built up a little contraption of PVC. I think it was PVC. And he had it to where it was tilting up a little bit. And he would have these tracks within this PVC contraption, and he would have these different color. I guess they were different color balls. I don't know. Maybe that matters to a degree, but he had this gentleman that was autistic and had some blindness, and he would roll the balls up the track and keep them moving one after another, and he just kept going back and forth, keeping the balls going. That, in a sense, is a form of juggling.
Right. So modification is a thing for sure.
Yeah. So that's, it's really only limited, I guess, by your imagination of what juggling is. And so, of course, I'm going to sort of start. What I usually do is I start with scarves now. I had one client that has since become my friend and brother in clowning. And I taught him how to juggle. He actually wanted to become a clown. He's a CPA. And so it's, how stressful CPA work
What,
can be.
just for us in Connecticut, what's CPA mean?
That's certified public accountant.
Public what? Accountant?
Accountant.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah, yeah. Taxes, right? Tax season.
Yeah.
And so his job is very stressful at times.
Mhm.
And so he wanted to learn how to become a clown. And I found him in a group that I was moderating for clowns. And he was very interested in that. And he's like, I don't know if I can do this, but I want to explore it or whatever. And I'm like, you're already a clown. And there's that sounds maybe sometimes like a funny insult type of thing, but it's actually not, because what clowning is finding your inner child again. You're bringing your inner child out. That's what the inner clown is. And so he already has an inner child. He has an inner clown, and he just he grabbed onto that, and we talked about what I can do for him, and I started teaching him how to juggle, and he wasn't sure if he would be able to do it. And that's everybody. That's everybody I've ever talked to. Everyone says, "Oh, I can't do that. I don't have the coordination." Well, coordination is not necessary when you're getting started. The real important part is your willingness to show up and keep practicing. That's really it. And we'll work the rest out over time. Not a big deal. And if we need to find a different way for you to express yourself through that movement, that's fine too. I'll work with you best I can. And we just take it one step at a time. I'm not worried about that. I know that because I was having such a problem with it in my day, I know exactly how that feels. And I want to work with you, if you're willing to work with me. And so if it takes a little bit longer for you to learn, we just keep doing it.
Yeah.
We take it, we micro step it. I don't know if you've ever heard of the phrase, the Japanese philosophy, Kaizen. Basically translates to breaking things down into smaller incremental parts and improving things over time in those small doses, and just making it improved over time. And that's what juggling is. We break it down into the micro steps until you get it, until that muscle memory starts to develop. And so that's the other thing. I mean, we're developing muscle memory with this, and it's working that both sides of the brain. We're doing that bilateral stimulation with the neuroplasticity. So as we're doing the side to side, like Mr. Miyagi, side to side, right?
Right.
And
or
so we're
EMDR. Some people might.
exactly, EMDR. But I kind of feel like, I mean, EMDR can be effective, yeah, of course. But is it fun? Are you going to keep doing it?
Yeah, like a fun way to do. That's cool. That's interesting.
So juggling is just really a fun way of using bilateral stimulation and EMDR. And so as you're doing it side to side, your eyes are tracking those bean bags or the scarves back and forth, and
that's like, for us lay folk over here, that means you're rewiring your brain as it's happening. Okay.
Yes. So what's happening is they've actually done studies where it's actually showing that they're growing new gray matter in the brain. That's really what it comes down to. You're growing new gray matter. And so Einstein had a quote that says, we cannot solve our problems with the same level of thinking as we had when we created them.
Mm.
And so if you're still trying to solve a problem with your old brain, with all the old circuitry, are you upgrading your brain? Are you upgrading those thoughts?
Mm-hmm.
Not yet, until you
Right.
start changing the way the way that your brain functions. And so if we can upgrade the brain with new circuitry, I call it rewire, reprogram, reboot, and refocus. Because that's really what it all comes down to. We're rewiring, we're reprogramming that circuitry, programming the computer to do what we want it to do. And then we're rebooting it, getting all that software updates. And then we're refocusing how we're seeing what we're doing and how we're doing it and how we're thinking about it. And so, yeah, it's there's a lot more to juggling than meets the eye. I love it.
Yeah. Well, I know it's no accident that I bumped into you along the websites, I guess, in the internet world of social media, because I have more questions personally, but I know we're winding up together. One of the important things somebody wanted me to mention too was, with this program that you're offering, there's some sort of incentive for like any kind of like certification or training that you give. Like, say you're working with a client and then the mother or father is also interested in learning the juggling skill. What kind of benefits do they get from it? In regard to like maybe a leadership position? I don't know if you offer certifications yet or anything like that.
Not quite yet.
Something.
As I said, I'm really just getting started with this at the moment. So really what I'm focused on is just getting people doing it. And so as far as families go, here's how I see it. Families who juggle together stay together. And neurons that fire together wire together. And so, if you're able to communicate on a different level with your child that maybe has a hard time communicating in other ways with you, why not have an activity that you can actually learn to do together? And there's also ways to pass the props to the other person and keep going back and forth and having that fun, that interaction. And so, yeah, I didn't really have that with my family. I wish they would have, participated a little bit more, but, that's life. And but if the parent is willing to do that with their child, we can work something out, because I do want the parent to be involved, because they can sort of be that advocate. They can be that person that, can aid, because I'm doing this online mostly. I kind of need that person to be there with the child to kind of teach them what the next step is. Maybe if they're having difficulty, I can talk to the parent too. So at least one parent kind of can be involved with the child.
Beautiful thing. And what have you found in your experience? You've been doing this for how long?
So the toss, catch, heal, that's really only been since about 2022. But I've been doing juggling for 30 some years.
Right. But the act of teaching, how long have you
and I've been kind of teaching. I've done library programs, school events, with juggling and getting kids involved in learning how to do this. So what I used to do early on was, like, kids would say, "Hey, look what I can do! I can juggle too." And sometimes they actually surprised me, and it was actually the 3-ball cascade type of thing, a little rough around the edges, but it was still a 3-ball cascade. Most of the time, it was trying to do one ball and then tossing it to the other hand, handing it to the other hand, and all that stuff. Kind of a mock juggling, so to speak. Okay. And okay, that's a good start. Right? But gotta work on it. Yeah.
If I have that ball with me, but I have a ball that I have a ball that you turn it on, it makes noise, and you have like a red wrist thing that you
okay
right here, and then a yellow one, and it says red yellow, and you can toss it and catch it up and down. And I use that sometimes just with my student that I work with, because I'm trying to incorporate like you were saying, the participation, like toss me the ball, toss and catch.
Yeah.
Between us, just passing the ball around, because he's very much independent. He just wants to do it himself, like, and that's fine too. But he does this thing where he'll, like, just one ball. He just does one ball, and he'll balance it on his fingertips and bounce it like this, and he can do that for hours if he was, able to. Sits there and he does that, like, often throughout the day. So when you said that helps with autism and just the brain development, neuroplasticity, it really intrigued me. Yeah.
Would you like a brief demo?
Sure.
All right. Give me one moment here. I gotta put my chair away.
Okay.
We're gonna take 3 scarves here. We're actually gonna toss the other 2 away and out through the mouth. But we also don't want to chest breathe. We want to suck it into the gut. So we want to use our diaphragmatic muscle and the diaphragm right in this region right here. And so your belly is going to kind of blow up as you breathe. Up center yourself just a little bit. And then as we're going to take our scarf and we're going to our arm up, and we don't want the arm totally rigid. We don't want it like this. We want to just a nice flow, but straight up into the air like this. And then we can kind of flick it up just like that. And what's going to happen is you just let it drop. Don't worry about catching it. That comes a little bit later into the thing. And we're just going to play with one scarf today. And we're just going to watch the scarf fall. We want to watch it fall. And we're using our eyes, just like the EMDR technique, because we want to know where that is going to fall for later, for that muscle memory. And now, and you just pick it up, and you want to kind of feel how that feels to you. How does it feel as you're flicking it into the air and then letting it drop? How does it feel for you?
Relaxing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And are there any other emotional issues going on within your own self?
Not right now that I can recognize, really.
Okay. Does it feel strange letting it drop on the floor?
Oh, a little bit. Yeah. I have the tendency to want to catch it.
Yeah. And so we want to be aware of that. And because, it can feel a little strange, letting it drop, and because everyone thinks, oh, I gotta catch it.
Yeah.
What if I don't catch it? And that can stir up other emotions. And so if you do catch it, that's fine, great. We can catch it now, as it drops, because we're kind of feeling where it's going to drop anyway. And so now it can drop right into our hands, just like that. Oh, I dropped it. Oh no, what do I do? Mm-hmm. And so now we're going to take the scarf and we're going to kind of hold it sort of like there, just kind of letting a couple things like that, and we're going to take it to the other side of the body. So you're going to take your arm and cross over just like this, and you're going to flick the scarf, and you're going to let it drop just like that. And then you can do that a few more times with the same hand. And this is we're building on that muscle memory still. And then you can go to the other hand and do the same thing as you did with the first hand. And if you want to catch it, you can catch it. Not a big deal. If it's within a certain range of where your arms are and where your hands are naturally, go ahead and catch it. If it's like going further way out into left field kind of thing, just let it drop, because we want to actually as close as we can get to where our hands are naturally within the this area right here. So we're just letting it drop into the hand, and then we can do crossover again, just like on the other side. And we can kind of go back and forth. And this is really the first steps. And the reason I like to do the scarves is because they slow it down, and you don't get as excited about it because it's it's stressing me out because it's so fast, right? We're playing with it right now, and once you kind of learn the scarves, if it takes a little bit more time with the scarves, that's fine, great. It's actually beneficial because you're actually building more of that brain tissue, more of that gray matter in the brain, and so it's actually beneficial if you take a little bit longer to learn it. That's been my experience. Cool. So I'll show you a little bit of my other juggling things. So I have a little thing on my philosophy of what toss, catch, heal is. So and with my business Health Avenues, icon with my logo and everything, and on my website is the apple tree. Yeah. And also the road. I call it the road and the tree. And the road is your health avenues, your path of different modalities that you want to practice to have better well-being. And then along that road, that winding road, is the apple tree on the side of the road. And that symbolizes your body. The roots for a tree are actually the brain of the tree, the grounded mind, right? And so then the trunk is your body. The trunk is your body, and that core, the core of your being, right? And so then you have the branches, the limbs that are stretched out and kind of swing in the wind. And they're very expressive. And then you have the apples. Now, the apples represent your emotions, the emotional apples. I have 3 beanbag apples right here, and these are my favorite props. And so we have 3 apples, and as you're learning to juggle, you're juggling your emotional apples, your emotions. And you're just moving them all along. And, oh, I dropped one. Oh, my. Okay. Well, we can pick it up again and keep going. So, yeah, it can be a very relaxing, but also very challenging experience. And I encourage anyone to really try it. And if you want to contact me, you can contact me on either Instagram. It's at Avenues Health, Avenues, and then that's health, Health. And or you can email me at coach@healthavenues.com.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Let me get back up here. Oh, yay, I got it. Okay. Perfect. Okay. So yes,
All set?
yeah. So glad we got to have this chat. We could always do it again too if time avails, if there's a reason to. We'll see. This is a pleasure, and I hope you got something out of it too.
I did. Definitely more practice doing podcast interviews.
Yeah. Oh,
So I've done, let's see, from the UK to Washington and Oregon states to Australia, and then to you, and then I've got another one, and I think she might be in Georgia. So the
good.
state of Georgia, not the country.
Right. Good. Okay. That'll be fun. You'll learn a lot from others too. This is interesting because different people learn in different ways too,
Yeah.
throughout the states. Did you have any contact with, you said Australia, I was going to say
Yeah.
overseas. Anyone from Europe, did you say? Anyone?
Just the UK, and she's a coach and therapist, and she does tapping. She does the EFT tapping,
Okay.
and she was the first to kind of grab on to what I was sharing. I was kind of part of her group very early on when I was still kind of having a lot of emotional turbulence.
Yeah. Well,
And
with the loss of your family,
yeah,
short amount of time.
and it wasn't just that. There was some other stuff that I'm not going to get into that, but yeah, there was just a lot of turbulent
Waters. Yeah.
energy. Yeah, turbulent waters, exactly.
Yeah.
So, but the juggling definitely helped me all along the way. It was like, really? This
Yeah.
really does work. And I kind of already knew that from when I first learned because, like I said, it just started to build my body and brain. And then that's kind of what inspired me to try it again. I was like, I wasn't getting anywhere with therapist, and I was even calling, those crisis hotlines and stuff like that for a while. And uh, they were never really available when I was just needing to be
Yeah.
talking,
Right.
and so
Or
talk therapy didn't really suit me, and that's why I came up with this. I was like, I got to do something.
right.
I was sort of like, I always talk about like the it was like I was Anakin Skywalker heading towards the dark side of the Force,
Right.
and I just needed a way back, and so I used juggling to get myself back there.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And every mind is so diverse. That's why I consider
Yeah.
myself neurodivergent, just because my ADHD, and sometimes I even can relate to the autistic. I don't know if I don't, my nobody said I'm autistic or whatever, but there's certain things of high functioning spectrum that I could definitely
Hmm.
relate to, like like having certain obsessions. As a kid, I used to
Hmm.
have like a lot of obsessions, things that I
Uh-huh.
was really into, and then just not being able to recognize social cues, and not really fitting into any mold per se.
Right. And same here. I never got diagnosed of anything, and I didn't really want that diagnosis. And
Sure,
I wanted to share that within my thing, within our little talk that
that's
the,
yeah, it's helpful
um,
for people who live.
my, the schools would try and put labels on me.
Hmm.
And I think I told Matt, might have shared some of that with you. Schools, tried to put labels on me, and I was telling my mom, labels are for cans, not people.
Yeah.
I've come a long way. When I was first born, the doctors told my mom that I may never walk or talk. So I always say that I didn't get that memo.
Yeah, miracle. Well,
And so, I did my own thing. I found my own way. And even I was in the Royal Hannaford Circus for a couple of seasons.
mhm.
So how that worked was that I was part of what's called a clown alley, which is basically a clown group
Mhm.
in the Detroit area. And I also visited some other clown groups as well, and I'd met I through my adventures of clowning, I met this other clown in the Lansing area, and she invited me to join Clown Alley for the Royal Hannaford Circus. It was a real blast doing that,
Yeah,
and it was such a
in your
high.
element,
I mean,
in your element, right?
yeah, I was in my element for sure.
Yeah.
And so that was a exciting time, and I was learning a lot of. I even bought a unicycle while I was
Oh,
from one of an authentic jugglers, a circus unicycle.
yeah. Wow.
And so I bought that and tried that out, and it was just really exciting to do that. And
Well, yeah,
I also had, go ahead.
go ahead. No, go ahead. You finish.
Well, I was going to say that before any of that happened, just before I went to clown camp, which was a program at the University of Wisconsin La Crosse. Um, uh, I had tried out, or my dad donated some money to the Shrine Circus um, in order to have me be a clown in the Shrine Circus before I even became a professional, and that was just a really interesting experience as well. So I've been fortunate, and I've been not so fortunate in my life of the ups and the downs of uh, life and juggling and whatnot.
A roller coaster of life. Yeah.
Yeah. That rhythm, right? And going up
Yeah,
and down.
that's true. Yeah, I was just going to say that one of the major influences in my life, one of my true heroes is Patch Adams. He's
Hmm.
the real Patch Adams. I met
Hmm.
him in person.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, he came to the Jorgensen theater to give a speech. Like I don't know, back in the day when the movie came out.
Hmm.
Yeah, I guess Robin Williams donated a bunch of money to his clown hospital, but
Hmm.
the actual company would
The Gesundheit Institute.
yeah, the Gesundheit Institute, that's his hospital. but the actual, like, what is it, Disney or Fox or what, I don't know, they didn't donate anything, and they didn't even get like full permission from him for the movie. There's like a lot of drama around that, like
Yeah.
he really should have been getting a lot of royalty for that.
Yeah.
A lot more money than just Robin
Yeah.
Williams donated a lot, but I mean, there should have been from the company as well. And it's too
Mhm.
bad. But anyway, that's not what I was going to say. I'm sidetracked. He's amazing. Like like just meeting him in person. First of all, his speech was amazing. And then meeting him in person, he's just one of those people that just shines radiant light, and you just want to be next to him because you could feel the vibe. And so, yeah, I shook his hand and I was like, hey, he did say on stage that he would write to anyone that writes to him. And this
Yeah.
was like before phones. It was like right before phones. So I want to say like
Yeah, I actually
2000.
did email him,
So
and I got a response from him, and we talked
yeah,
a couple times through
yeah.
email. So
He's big into writing. So we would write to each other a couple times a year. And now I feel it's been like, I want to say like 10 years I haven't written to him once. So he doesn't know now that I'm married and have kids. It's like my life has totally changed. So you're reminding me I better write to him because that
I'm gonna show you something.
yeah,
I
no, it's
just
good.
uh, give me a
I'm just
second.
gonna keep telling you about it. So the
Okay,
Gesundheit
keep going.
Institute was so popular after that movie. People started joining it and asking about it. Ended up having to have a waiting list to get in. So that was good. That was a good thing about the movie. So it was successful in that way, letting people know that it existed in Arlington, Virginia. And I think they moved. Didn't they relocate their facility somewhere else?
Probably,
I
probably. I kind of lost like touch with some of that
Yeah,
information.
those guys, they're clowns and they go all over the country, I think, maybe the world. I don't know. I know they travel, they do these missions. They're like missions, not religious missions, just what do you call 'em? Missions where, yeah, like a mission work where they go to like homes. At one time they went to Russia where there's women and children who are in desperate need of health care and humor because it's just really depressing. And that is a true story, by the way, that Robin Williams portrayed. The man Patch was completely depressed about the
Mhm.
society, the world, life. He wanted to end it until he realized he could help people by what do you
That used to be me.
ah, was that a clown?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see. I got it.
Yeah. Oh,
So yeah, that's how I used to look. I have a different. So nowadays I don't really apply makeup, and
mm,
for a particular reason. Uh, so makeup is for a clown is really for stage and like the circus ring and such. So when you're it has become more of a tradition to wear the makeup, but for the most part, it's really about so that your facial expressions can be seen from in the nosebleed seats, right, from way back,
right.
and so because I do most of my work up front face to face. I don't need that kind of thing. I just wear the nose and I
Yeah.
sometimes wear a wig.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's, I just have a more updated approach to clowning nowadays.
Yeah, and
And
that's fine because a lot of these kids these days are afraid of clowns anyway. So
yeah,
I think the
yeah,
makeup can be a little creepy,
yeah.
honestly. So hey,
Yeah, I get it, and so that's why I don't really. I'm trying to promote clowning as a positive experience, and so I understand a lot of that. And so,
yeah,
if you don't need to wear the makeup, don't wear the makeup. And I know how to use my face and facial expressions without all that. So I don't need the makeup, and I don't need to hide behind the makeup. A lot of people think that you hide behind the makeup. That's a false thing.
yeah,
What's really happening is when you're first starting to become a clown, you do kind of hide behind it a little bit until you're really developed, but what you're really doing is you're bringing out that inner child out of you, and that's really what's going on. So it's really about that inner child work of working with people and their inner child to come out for a moment or two, because we hide ourselves. Carl Jung, the psychologist, right? He talked about the shadow self, and that's sort of along the same line. It's that self, that part of you that you just jam down deep, and you don't let it out, and causes all kinds of psychological issues. And I like to sometimes say that clowns are sort of like psychologists with red noses. Or in my case right now, I actually wear a green nose, but we're sort of like the red-nosed philosophers, the psychologists. You have to know your audience.
Yeah.
You have to get to know your audience. You have to kind of know how they're going to respond to your thing. And sometimes you don't get it right all the time either. And that's part of it. So
it's beautiful. Yeah, I was going to tell you, I met a woman from Scotland who's really into mindfulness, and we have some partnerships things going on. We're going to be working on together. So yeah, I'd love to involve you too with that. Like at some point, we could talk more about it. But because she has a little audience of women who had ADHD, and she does like these mindfulness exercises with them, and I just mentioned juggling because for me, I feel like it would help me personally, and I bet if it would help me, then it would help others.
absolutely. I don't. That's why I don't really want to just say, oh, this is for this particular, person that has ADHD, or it's going to help a lot of different people.
Oh yeah.
It's going to bring the inner child out. It's going to help people learn how to flow better, and it's helped me flow. I'm not,
right? Though it will help with focus, though, right? Because that's
yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I used to just really be, kind of not totally focused. I still have my focus problems sometimes, but I pull out my bean bags when I know that I'm scatterbrained a little bit, and it brings me back.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Definitely. And the only other thing that I really noticed is similar to juggling is the piano, playing piano, left hand, right hand, and getting it, going across and practicing that. That's about, I haven't really noticed much else that's even close to that, but I would say a lot of different stuff that can go across the midline. And I think that piano work sort of does that a little bit with the bilateral stimulation. So that's really kind of where I'm at with it all.
All right. Well, thank you so much. It's been
Thank
a
you.
pleasure, and I look forward to talking to you again sometime soon.
Yep. All right.
Yeah. Take care. I'm going
Yep.
to turn this off, and then we can talk for a little bit.
Okay.